The Bellanaboy gas processing terminal is currently the biggest building site in Ireland. Construction work on these facilities began last September. However, before a single pipe rack could be welded, 500,000 tonnes of peat had to be removed from the site. 250 workers were involved in these preliminary site works last summer. A specially trained team of drivers made 20,000 journeys to the Bellanaboy peat deposition site at Shramore. In all, they clocked up 500,000 kilometres. They finished the job safely and well ahead of schedule.
What we're building here is the terminal facility to treat the gas coming in from the Carib gas fields. Currently we're in the construction phase of the project. There are approximately 600 people working here at the site, and that will go up to 700 or 800 over the next few months. What we have here at the far end of the site is where the gas will be coming into the site. At this end, much closer to us here, is where the gas will be primarily processed. What you see, the major steelwork between the two areas is what we call the pipe racks. This transports the gas between the various areas of the facility. After it's treated, it will be then, at the bottom end of the plant, it will be exported into the Bord gas network.
The largest single piece of processing equipment for the Carib gas terminal arrived in Dublin in early May. Measuring over 100 feet in length and weighing 36 tonnes, the methanol still took 4 days to travel to Mayo. The convoy drove during the night so as to minimise disruption to other road users.
The size of the site here, we have got about 20 hectares in total of the footprint. On top of that then we got about 1,500 tonne of steel, various pipe racks. On meterage we got about 500 kilometres of power cable and instrumentation cable. On the pipe work we've got approximately 39,000 metres, so 39 kilometres of pipe work. Pipe work varies in size, as you can see here, from 42 inch down to 2 and 3 inch. Each weld is numbered. Along with the number of the weld gives us where the weld is in the system and the welder who performed the weld. In some cases it can be 2 welders. Once that's established then we have to x-ray the weld, radiography, or we can do ultrasonics where we can check the inside of the weld. So it's to check that the weld and the quality of the weld meets the specification for the project.
We're managing a construction site here in a very environmentally sensitive area. All around us is a very unspoilt area, and our key priority is to ensure that we don't affect the environment around us. One of our biggest challenges is dealing with the high amounts of rainfall that we have here on site. That generates a lot of runoff, and what we need to do is treat all that runoff, and we do this here in our Axonics water treatment plant.
Here is a sample of the untreated water. So then we go to our first stage of treatment, which is electrocoagulation. And that may sound a lot of big words, but essentially to break it down, you have 2 plates, and through the plates you pass currents of up to 500 volts. And as you can see there, we have ions which have charge on them, which are now becoming bigger because we pass through the plates. So then we proceed on to stage 2, which is here, the flocculation tank. We add a polyelectrolyte, which is a glue-like substance, and make the flock bigger. And as you can see, the flock is forming there. It's enlarged from the previous state. So essentially we're combining the flock by mixing it. And then we pass it on into clarification. So we have a large cone on site, the clarifier, which allows the flock to accumulate down at the bottom, and we remove the flock. So it gets about 2 hours to settle out in this cone-like structure. And then final point then is our discharge water, which overtops weirs and is discharged to drain. We have monitoring equipment on site which monitors it for pH, turbidity, aluminium and redox. So once all these points are fine, the water is fine, it's then discharged to the drain. If it's a case where it's out of spec for whatever reason, the water is then recycled back to the lagoons for retreatment again.
This is the point of discharge. At this point we have continuous monitors that measure the water quality. We download them on a routine basis, and all the results are issued then to the council for their approval. We also have these sondes placed in 3 other locations upstream of the settlement ponds, which is known as SP3, and then at D22 and D62. They're 2 drains that would run at the rear of the site and at the front of the site, and that would be, they would give a picture of what the background level would be from the site.
From my own experience in the environmental business for the past 16 years, we're setting the standards here for construction site environmental management. We're treating water on site, which is quite unique on major construction sites in Ireland. The awareness level that we have here on site, I believe, in my own experience, is very high, and it's brought throughout the workforce, from management down to the guys working out on the site. And I would say also that all the monitoring that we do on site, and we do an extensive amount, all the results of that are available on the Mayo County Council website. Anybody can go in there and see how we're performing. So it's an open book, it's very transparent. And we also have an open policy about bringing people on site, showing them around. We have regular visits from the local community where we take them in a bus, bring them around the site and show them what's going on and answer any questions they have.
The most important factor for me is to keep this place safe. From the first moment that somebody enters this site, they go through an intensive safety induction. Following that, they get coaching. We've got strict rules as to wearing personal protective equipment. Furthermore, all work is carried out under a strict permitting system to ensure that everybody is kept safe and that nobody is put in harm's way.
Job numbers at Bellanaboy are set to rise to over 800 this summer. Having Ireland's biggest construction site located in Erris provides both challenges and opportunities for local businesses.
Personally, we're just learning how to deal with the bigger contracts, how the bigger companies work, the pitfalls and everything else that comes with it. It's a daily learning process. Normally in the west of Ireland, the smaller areas, we're involved in domestic projects, involved in commercial end of things. Industrial wouldn't be as big, so therefore we have to stick with the smaller jobs all the time. As I say, we're here for a year. It's great to get the continuity work in the one place. Around the country, if the need arises or if the opportunity arises, the skills that we're learning, they can be used in any industry.
For so many years, obviously an area like here, like most of the west of Ireland, most men had to go, or women as well, had to go abroad, and they removed the skill base from the local area, and often that was never replaced due to the complexity of the project and the safety standards and ongoing training. When they go to other jobs, they'll have this culture of safety which they can bring on to other jobs, which will stand us all to a good future.
My previous jobs have been from factory environments, so obviously working here on a site and gaining great experience, working with a lot of big companies as well that I wouldn't have got the chance to do, so I'm picking up skills and experience that will benefit me throughout my career. For the people who come from the area, it's nice to be at home, so that they're not away from their families, travelling long distances to Dublin and being away Monday to Friday. As well as that, it's obviously a big boost for the local economy. Even for people who are not from the area who have to move in, they still have to eat here and buy their food and daily goods, so it's a big benefit for the area.
Construction of the gas processing plant at Bellanaboy is expected to be completed next spring, after which time the facilities will be commissioned and made ready for operation by autumn 2009.